So the time has come. Your hair, your makeup, your wardrobe are all perfect. The set has been beautifully put together. The props are fantastic and on point. The lighting is incredible. The sound couldn't be any better if they tried. So now the director gets ready to call action, and the magic will be taken over by the camera person, or camera people for that matter. But what does a camera person do on a set? Well, for that, let's talk to Matt. Want to stay informed about all things business of show? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like.
About 20 years ago, I just started getting freelance work at Maryland Public Television and a lot of the news agencies around the DC Baltimore market. A lot of it was just putting in the time and learning the equipment and getting the experience. Also working at another public television station. The great thing about that is they get a lot of funding so they can buy better equipment than news agencies would usually have on hand. So you got your hands on the top of the line gear, which was nice. Also, they're a little bit more forgiving as far as giving you time to learn things. It's not necessarily a union shop where they might have a particular way of doing things or an elongated path that you need to take. It's kind of like, if you can do the gig, we could use your help. And the more equipment you learn, the better. Then you learn how to frame shot, make sure all the buttons are on. And there's just a lot that goes into it, especially when you're out in the field. When you're in a studio, you're backed up by like 5 or 6 people making sure that everything looks good. And you have someone in your ear telling you who and when to shoot. As opposed to a narrative situation where you have actors and things like that, where you're working on blocking a shot with several different people and planning and rehearsing and then actually going into shooting the thing, and you're responsible for making sure it looks good and that you got what the director asked for. If you're in that position, if you're the DP, it's up to you to maintain the look that you and the director agreed on, and make sure that you're using the right type of lenses, the right type of camera, the right frame rate, the right type of filters, all kinds of gizmos. And, depending on your budget, it can get really ridiculous as far as the technology. Making sure that you have everything saved, that it's stuck to the film if you're shooting on film, that it's stuck to the hard drive if you're shooting on a hard drive, that it's stuck to tape if you're, checking your playback. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, but over time you have a natural ability to almost pick up on the things that you have to worry about. If you want to become a cameraman, you really have to study what constitutes a good shot. Everybody thinks they can shoot, but you have to know composition, like where someone's head is supposed to be in the shot. What makes sense? If an actor is looking this way, which way is the other actor looking? So when you edit it together, they don't look like they're all looking in weird different directions and not at each other, which if you do it wrong, it's entirely possible. Also being aware that you're getting the right thing in the shot, whether you're shooting a talking head like this, or if you're shooting an action scene, make sure you get the proper thing in the shot. And also the shot is telling the story that you want to tell. The shot goes to the cigarette, and then to the gun, and then to the guy, and you put it together in your head that guy smoking has the gun, and and it tells the story once you get into the edit room. But in a live situation, you are doing what's called you're hunting and pecking, or you're trying to sell to the director good shots, because everyone's frantically working to capture the best footage of this live event. Say the Who or Pink Floyd is playing, and you want to get that close up on the guitar when the guitar solo starts, and you have to be there. You got to find the guy that's going to kick into that solo and know when it's coming, sometimes without a rehearsal. Make sure you get that close up from 300 feet away, or the whole show is kaput. And then the director and the TD or the switcher have to make sure they key in the right shot, because sometimes it's going out on broadcast or on a big giant screen behind the band, or both, or out to the web. And there's a whole lot of things you have to worry about. And plus you have to be a real team player and back up your guys, and the guys are backing you up. And a large production like that, it's a whole team effort on any production, really, because you have a lot of people coming together to make a thing. And you sometimes have to set the ego aside and just, play along or do what you're told. Or sometimes you get put in the position where you're in charge and you're expecting everyone to play along and do what they're told, so you don't have any friction. You could have fun doing the job because you got into it because you thought it'd be fun, right? Well, right now, I'm working on a couple of projects. I do a lot of 501c3 work. I work with art nonprofits. They do galas every year, and they have to do a touchy-feely video that they can show at their fundraiser so people know what they're donating to and trying to support. But this year they can't do that because of the situation that we're in with COVID-19. What we're doing is we're shooting all the participants who would usually be at the banquet coming up to say, hi, I'm so-and-so, and we're going to give this award to this guy, and we're going to raise money for these folks. And the usual stuff that people would say in a simple room. You get up from your dinner table and you get up to the lectern, or the podium, as a lot of people call it, and say your piece, or then introduce the next person or a musical act or whatever. So we're trying to shoot as many people live while being social distance, and I use a long lens so they could be way over there and I'm way back here, and try to make it feel as live as possible. But the instance that I'm talking about, someone shot the CEO. They did a kind of a Zoom call and on a different platform, and they recorded it, and they didn't direct her on how to sit or where to look. They got the sun blasting her in the face and she looked like a weird person, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is garbage. We can't use this. This is the big cheese. And they look like someone they picked up off the street. I don't know what you think about your video, but I would like to reshoot it. Maybe if I could come by your house, or I could meet you somewhere, or I could set up and then you stay away from me and keep your mask on. Because a lot of these people are older and super concerned about their health. So, you want to be respectful of that. Went to her house and set up the big guns and made it look great. And now it looks professional. Like she's, doing that video on the Oscars where they're like, sorry, I couldn't be there. I just want to let you all know that blah, blah, whatever they say.